Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we are tapping into something special. I'm Hip Hop Mike, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who puts it all together for almost a decade now. The heartbeat of New York City. I'm talking about the CEO of the Labrats, my brother Chris. What up, bro?
Yo, what's good, my guy? How you doing?
Man, I'm so happy to be here. First of all, this whole studio setup is outrageous. It's crazy. I've
Cool, cool.
always loved the level of quality that you put into all the work that you do, man. It's
Nah, I
it's
appreciate
really
you, man.
it's something special, bro.
I do it for you guys, man. You guys have been inspiring me. You've been doing your radio thing for a hot minute. So if I know that, we're doing certain things and we got certain people in the building, aesthetics is everything to me. And, you know,
No, I
thank you for
mean,
the inspiration.
listen, bro, thank you. I mean, I've seen it for a long time in the shows and the artists that you decide to work with, the producers. You put a lot of care into doing these events. And I think where a lot of people, a lot of crews come and go,
Yeah.
you've been here and established yourself as one of the biggest players in New York. I actually had somebody hit me up the other day. They was like, yo, how do I connect with those Lab Rats guys? I was like, yo, he doesn't show his face. You just got to DM him. You got to DM him. But today I wanted to chat with you a little bit because I'm trying to understand, where did this all start? Like, I feel like I never got a proper history lesson. I just got hit one day like, yo, we want to book you to do an event,
Yeah,
and it's just blossomed into a second family for me. But where did
facts.
this all begin for you, bro?
Going back almost a decade when we had that pandemic, hit New York, the rest of the world. It was a crazy time we was going through, and at that time, my job had us on this thing called furlough. You know what I mean? So,
Okay, I used to get that in the group home. They'd give me a fur. I could go for the weekend. I hang out with some girls and come back to the group home on Monday.
Mike's always living a life, right?
So you was on furlough.
Yeah, so I was on furlough. Didn't really know as far as when I would be going back to work and all of that extra. So in the meantime, I was just like, yo, I had nothing to really do but take care of my family, make sure they were good, So I was home most of the time, and we were getting straight exotics from California at the time. I mean, this is back then when Burner was doing his things. Shout outs Burner and
Big up my
Cookies.
bro Burner.
You
Big
know what
up
I'm saying?
Schmelvin.
We had a link at the time, and we was getting everything straight out. Don't want to go too much into detail with that.
Okay, that's where the mess started, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
Makes
you could
sense.
say that, right? So we was getting everything straight to New York from Cali, and every all the plugs was hitting us up, and we were just doing what we did. And I started taking pictures of all this exotic bud, and my shorty, my wife, she was
Was she your wife at the time?
that's what I said. So at the time, my shorty, right, right before we got married, um, she was kind of like, you've got all this cool exotic stuff here. You take pictures and you try it out and you put your reviews up online. Why don't you make a little page about it? And you're kind of like a lab rat. I'm like, a lab rat. Lab rats.
I
She's
was
like,
gonna say, why lab rats?
right. So then she said NYC lab rats. So I said, what? So the very next day, trademarked the name, uh, started going crazy with the art after that. So it started with the flower, and then it ended up being more than that. So we started out making T-shirts, had a whole storyline with the lab rats. You could tune in and check that out at another time. But basically, we started selling T-shirts out of the trunk, basically, going to pop-ups and what have you not, and meeting different people, networking. So we just started doing that, and then eventually we bucked up with a few really, 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 really amazing artists. I'm talking about the level of music; it's far beyond this universe.
So why artists? Because getting into the cannabis space, a lot of people, they open a dispensary, they have their own strain, their own brand, but not everybody integrates with the culture to do the creative things that
Right?
happen in music.
Yeah.
Why put this whole piece together with the music and start working with artists even to begin with?
As we created the Instagram page, not sure what level of direction we were going in. An artist actually responded to the Instagram, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm really loving your vibe. I'm into like skateboards and your logo, everything kind of like goes and ties with that. And shout outs Rizzy Red,
I
that's
was
the
gonna say that
artist.
sounds like Rizzy Red.
You know, so yeah, so
So he was the first one. He just found you because he was into the cannabis page and the
yeah,
art page.
yeah. He started rolling up with me when we were going to events. I actually had a pop up event, and he came to the event. And long story short, after the event, he says, "Chris, we don't need to go to anyone's events to do this. Why don't we do our own events? You come from that background, right?" Because I used to do a different type of dance hall reggae vibes years before that. So kind of know how to bring
So he was
people
always
together.
into the music a little bit, but it
Yeah,
wasn't really
yeah,
the agenda starting up the
right,
business. It was
right.
really driven off the cannabis space.
Yeah, yeah.
What
So
what was the initial team? It was just you and the missus, Rizzy.
our very first artist, Rizzy Red. Um, he's been with us since the very beginning, and he's evolved into this amazing worldwide activist slash artist. It's amazing, you know. So Rizzy's been on that movement, you know, world peace. That's his biggest thing. But he still
Facts.
and he spits it through his music. And so we got Rizzy. He was the very first one on board. You know, then we got my homies at Super Smacked. You know,
Big
they
O Super Smack.
that's a whole creative
Love those
studio.
guys.
You know, that's a whole set of community members that make you feel like you're really part of their community as well. And we've been turning shit up left, right, and center. So Rizzy Smacked, you know, we really started doing the early stages of the event building together. I don't really work with a lot of people, you know, but Super Smacked is that's the homie right there. You know, then we started evolving. One of my close friends, DJ Devious, he works for iHeartRadio, and he started tapping in with us, DJing our shows, and now he's our main DJ. He does our ciphers, stuff like that. Every event, he's there live doing his thing. Um, our A&R, Leg of the Great from the Boogie Down Bronx. Shout outs to you. You know, he's like an older brother to me, but I look up to him when it comes to making decisions when it comes to the music because he's got a really good ear for certain things, and he tells me the truth no matter what. You don't need a yes man on your team, right? We got MIB Legacy. You know,
MIB.
he joined us from the very start too. You know, he came in under a contest to get his music in a movie, and he did that. You know, and since then we've just been working together. You know, and then we've also got Fort Kells. He's another artist that came on board a couple of years ago, and within just like that, like within 2 years, we've been bringing influencers doing things. Our very first event with Gorilla Nems, you know, he was there. He was part of that. Now he turned himself into a host,
Mogul.
a hype man. Now he's doing stage management at the award show last time. And that's the thing. Him, MIB, and Lega, they did all of that for me at the event. And I feel like everyone doesn't say I just do this. Everyone's got their many different hats that they put on. You know, I got my homie Mad Max. He's currently in Tulum. You know, building a whole different project out there for us. So stay tuned for that. You know, I have recently acquired a public relations manager, our PR manager, BQ Mommy. Shout out to BQ Mommy. Speaking of management, we have a reggae liaison manager on our team now by the name of MC Nuffy. You guys know him. He's Vibes Cartel's host and MC. You know, so the team. There's so much more people on the team, but these are the people that I hit up right away if I need advice on certain things, or I know I can pick up the phone and call them. They're right there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are the homie. You, L'Oreal. You
My
know,
man.
you guys are besides what you guys do. You never make me feel like I'm less important. You always hit me up like yo. So and the team. If you really want to know who the team members are, go look back at the footage from the award show because everybody that got awards and flowers, they mean something to us. You know,
What was that, a month ago?
that was about a month ago. That was May 2nd. Yeah,
Time's flying,
time's
bro.
flying, man. You know, so it started evolving. We started doing our own shows. You know, little lounges in the neighborhood. Then started getting bigger and bigger. Started networking with more influencers like yourself. L'Oreal Lucci, Jay Garcia, Spider Cuz, Nems, like
Drewski,
Drewski,
Biscuit. We could go all
Biscuit.
day. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember early on, like the first shows were so
Yeah.
small. They were at kind of like these places that had like almost makeshift stages.
Yeah.
To see what happened on May 2nd in Brooklyn with the proper stage, the bar, the security, all these influencers, the awards.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been so many moments along the way that led to that. What are some of your favorite moments over the past years, holding things down as the main man for the Labrats?
Doing the albums really got me more involved with the artists instead of having them just come up to an event and perform and that's it. You never hear about them again, right?
Sure, yeah, people
Unless they're
just.
doing their own thing. But
I think that's what sets
yeah,
you apart, though. Like, not to cut you off, but
yeah,
hosting so many showcases over the years, being on Hot 97, having people reach out, like, yo, we want you to come out and support the artist.
yeah,
You get there, and it's very transactional in a lot of circumstances, especially as somebody that's booking the shows.
right,
They're like, okay, you paid for your slot, here's your time, go do your thing, and it ends there.
right,
You know what I mean? So to get into this and do it properly,
yeah.
I'm sure along the way there's been some challenges.
Oh yeah.
What does that look like, and how have you overcome some of this to really let it be, as seamless as it is now?
So there'll be situations where I'm having an event and let's just say for instance an influencer can't make it or whatever the case is. I don't let anybody know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't even let my team really know. Sorry, but
We could tell, just so you know, we could tell, like, hosting these shows, I could
yeah.
tell when he's panicking and like everything is in
See,
disarray.
Mike knows the vibe
I
because
see it.
we've been
You
working.
carry it well, but he'll be outside on the phone
Yeah,
having 3 conversations around him.
yeah,
I'm like, yo, who's going on the stage? Like, you watch it, but
yeah.
you keep so calm, bro, and you keep it moving,
Well, that's the thing, right? So at the end of the day, I just try to figure it out before I let my people know, because I learned in business. Yeah, you see the mask and everything like that, but you're looking at a bachelor's in marketing and science, and graphic design. I've been doing it all, so you never let your team feel the pressure that you feel, right? And as a father, same thing. As a husband, as a son, like I've been learning to deal with things on an emotional level before I make a decision and let the public know. So back to that.
Nah.
Influencers like, yo, I can't make it, I can't get to that event. Luckily I've made great relationships and I don't ever believe in burning bridges. So I'll hit, for instance, somebody couldn't make it. I hit you up and this was an act, I forgot which event it was, and then you hit me right back within a few minutes and you're like, yo, Chris, I got you. We we made shit happen. That's just what it is. You gotta put yourself out there in the game. It's not the events that really makes us who we are. It's the experience that we go through in the process. You know, at the end of the day, artists on our platform, they'll tell you straight up, like, it's not just a one and done here. You come, some people complain about certain things. Things don't go their way all
I
the
want to go
time.
on now. I was supposed to go on 10 minutes ago. I
Yeah.
got to be on after this guy, that
Yeah,
guy.
I always find a way to make it up to the people when it comes to, there's always a next one. There's always a next one. And the next one's never like the last one.
Facts, it keeps
You
elevating
know,
for
you,
sure.
you always got to set the standards high. And I feel like at the award show, that really set things apart.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
What was it about the award show? Like, how did that idea come about? Because I feel like it was one of a kind. Like, I've hosted again so many shows where, it's all about just getting artists on and off the stage, people performing their songs. But that award show element,
Yeah.
giving somebody something physical to actually go home with and take pride in,
Yeah.
I thought that was really incredible. It's a big reason why when you hit me, I'll just pull up because it's not even like about this transactional thing. I feel like these moments really, they're great places to be. And if you could get involved,
Yeah.
it brings you a lot of joy to be at these events. But,
Yeah.
what sparked that idea specifically?
I've been involved in situations previously with other shows, people doing awards, and I seen that the system's really rigged on the back end, and I kind of wanted to show the people,
Like the Grammys, the Oscars, the Golden Globes, the Emmys.
yeah. I wasn't part of any of those,
I,
not yet at least,
they say
but
when we talk about rigged award show, I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah, read between the lines, right? But there was something that I was part of, and I made my people go out of their way to get me to a certain level, and then to find out that someone that previously got eliminated in rounds before me, beat me into the main final. Kind of like, what's going on?
Interesting.
So we had a bunch of artists that were put into this poll, and people had to vote for them. Now, numbers don't lie. Those people made it into the music awards, and then I also said to myself, I'm gonna actually honor the influencers and the hosts that helped me throughout the way. That idea actually happened like 2 weeks before the event.
Really?
Now people ask me, I know you're gonna say to me, how the hell did you manage to get all of those influencers on the panel, right? And listen, it comes down to just being a genuine person, like you say, right? So
That's it, man. Again, I mean, the show's never felt, for me at least, transactional. You know, a lot of people, it's like,
yeah,
when, like from the radio side, from doing entertainment hosting,
yeah,
you know, people hit you up, and a lot of times you end up in a space where it's like, damn, I got to make money. Here's my rate. Here's this, and that.
right,
Like even today, bro. Honestly, to pull up and to be able to have conversations with you, I just feel like everything has always been so seamless and easy,
yeah,
and you know, it's not just a transactional thing in the sense where it's like I'm coming to give you my time and take money. Like I
yeah,
really feel like over the years we've been able to build things, you
yep,
know, again as a team, not just me and you build, but you and Drewski have built,
right,
you and Biscuit have built, you know, you and MIB have built.
yep,
There's a lot of people that you've been able to connect with and do different things, whether it's with me on the hosting side,
yep,
with Rizzy on the creative, you know, the cannabis side, the music side.
mm-hmm.
I mean, damn, we were at a pizzeria one time doing a food event. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
literally filming about food. So
facts.
I love that it's always been for the community, and you know, also I'll say it's also by somebody who's part of the community. I think that's one thing that lacks too,
Yeah,
you know, in the space is so many people, especially now, like private
being
equity is
being
like,
part of the culture.
yeah, they want to throw money at these things
Yeah,
because it attracts so many people, but it's
yeah,
like it's not attracting people for the right reasons. And it's
yeah,
like they're not really part of the community to understand how to make it make sense
right,
in a way that, you know, there's give and take.
yeah,
For the future, I
yeah,
know that you have a lot of plans. I mean, you said it yourself that things are going to continue to level up, that the last event is never going to be the last event, and there's always new things to come.
yeah.
You know, can you share a little bit about what your vision is for the future? Is there anything new that you're getting into, any new spaces that you're looking to explore?
Speaking of spaces, this is one of them.
This space is fire, by the way. I came in
Thank
here,
you.
they got clouds in the booth. There's literally clouds in the
Yeah,
booth.
this is one of them. So the music, the stage has evolved into in-house production. We've got multiple studios that we work with. Shout outs to my homie at Koyo Studios, for allowing me to use this space as my personal, you know, thing here. But besides doing media and production and amplifying artists, because that's the biggest thing that we've been doing and we've been tackling was amplifying artists that need that exposure. Besides the amplification of the artists themselves, um, we're actually in the process of dropping my team, Polar Bear Films, out in Texas. Shout out Juan
Wait,
Salas.
you said Polar Bear Films?
Polar Bear Films.
Where did Polar Bear come from?
So Polar Bear Films, they hit us up one day too, just like that. Like, hey, I see you guys out in New York City. Dope vibe. I'm filming this horror movie. That the whole thing started, and that was the very first House of Dolls movie.
Oh,
I'm glad
wow.
you brought that up.
So you
Uh,
getting into the film space.
yeah, we've been in it. We've been doing music syncs. MIB right here, and our other artist, Fort Kells, they got a track on the second movie. More to come on that. But we've been dealing with a lot of people in the movie business. Like for instance, my good friend Miko. You
Big
guys,
Amigo.
you guys know
Hmm.
Miko from Euphoria. You know what I'm saying? So he was actually in the first House of Dolls movie. And we've been building relationships in the movie scene. And the art and the everything. It's just like we're all around. It's not just related to one thing. And because I feel like we can go in any direction we choose to. I'm not trying to be too arrogant about saying that, but I feel like if you give me something to say, you can't do this, Chris, I'm gonna be like, nah. All right,
Well, and
watch
I
me.
will say I like that you let people kind of focus on what they focus on. You didn't seem to me at least as somebody who micromanages everybody,
Yeah,
but you know, you give people an opportunity, they start running with it, and
yeah,
it's like, you know, if you're not into it and they're into it, you support and let them really let it blossom under
Right.
the brand.
Right.
Perfect example, this merch. I told you with this merch, where did that come from, and why don't I have a hoodie with this new logo on it? I'm gonna
Hey,
put him on the spot because I know we're filming, it's recording. I'm a clip. I need a clip of just this so I can send it to him until he sends me a hoodie.
you know, I actually like lab rats experiment with a lot, right? So I'm not a big fashionista, but so what I do is I make a few of these shirts and I see if people like them, and if people are around at the time, and you're in LA half the time, so when I do these drops, you're
You
never
know where
here.
I'm back here,
Nah,
bro.
I got
I
you.
was
I
in LA
got you.
1 year. Nobody's ever let me live it down.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 times a year,
I cough into that. I stay golfing.
I want to live that life, man.
Listen, come out, bro. What's happening?
Listen, man.
I'll put that on camera too. He's invited anytime. You come to any of these private country clubs. Let's run it up.
Yeah, yeah. You've been doing the was it pickleball too?
I do the golf, the pickleball.
Yeah,
I'll still fuck around and play handball, bro. I've been playing
yeah. Now
handball. Like,
that's something that we could probably get into.
let's do it.
But yeah, nah. The merch started evolving. So originally it was this little rat with green slime coming out of its mouth.
That's the
Then
merch I have. I'm like, I
yeah,
didn't see this polished up black and white New York
yeah.
Fashion Week shit you got going over here.
Yeah, nah, this is basically the evolution. So after the first logo, things got serious. The rat started evolving. He started looking more serious. That's why eventually we created Labrat Nation as more people joined us. So it's not just NYC Lab Rats, now it's Labrat Nation, right? So that's why we got this right here. He kind of looked a little spaced out. And then after that, we started doing the music and media a little more. And, people started sending us music like, what do you think about this? What do you think? And I didn't really think that I had a big, say when it came to sound, but people came to me and were like, Chris, we look up to you. If you say this sounds well or you think I need to work on something, I'm like, wow, thank you for valuing my opinion. Like,
For
I'm just a
sure.
regular person. So at the end of the day, this one came about. He started wearing the headphones, still kept the Lab Rat Nation logo on the top as a third eye, but still kept my gas mask concept.
Love it.
You feel me? So, I don't know what's gonna happen next, but all I can say is things are evolving and I don't stop. You might see us in places you never thought you'd see us before, but I'm taking everybody with me. We all going.
Well, but I mean, before I let you go, I want to say that I gotta correct you. I don't think that you're just a regular person. You know, you put it like I'm just a regular person, but
I
you
am.
have to see, bro. I mean, look back at everything that's happened. Scroll through the YouTube page. Go watch the other videos. Go watch
Yeah.
the other things on Instagram. The things that you've been able to do over these years and the place that you've done them from, I really feel like is so unique, bro. And I'm not surprised that people come to you and is like asking for your feedback
Yeah.
because you've done a great job at like eclectically connecting people that are great again at each of these things. You know,
Yeah.
Rizzy's out here as like a full-blown political
He's
influencer now. He's like,
he's
my man's is out here fighting the good fight.
and that's the beauty of it, right? He never knew. Nobody knew he would turn into that person he is.
It's just they evolve, bro.
Like
People
I
evolve.
woke up one day, I'm looking at his page, I'm like, whoa, he's got 50K right now. And he's getting love from not just here but all around the world. Letting his music, he's the love in his heart for freedom and equality and justice. You feel it in his music, and the people around the world are starting to resonate with it. And I just love that for him. You
But
know.
think about it, bro. I mean, you just talked about how when y'all first connected,
Yeah.
you've been such a pivotal figure in helping, you know, people like Rizzy, people like myself,
Yeah.
people like Kells, like MIB, you know, blossom into the people that we are today.
Yeah.
You know, if you could give advice to somebody that's watching this that maybe says, I want to get involved with the Lab Rats, I want to start something similar to what they're doing in my city, in my state, in my country.
Yeah.
You know, what advice would you give somebody that maybe nobody gave you getting into this game on how they could kind of let their swag blossom, you know, similar to yourself?
The way I personally think people should go about this is figuring out exactly what in their heart that they feel they want to do when it comes to music or entertainment. If there's a specific MO, if it's money, that's one thing. I'll tell you, listen, it's not just the music that's going to make your money. You've got to pivot. You've got to brand yourself. And these are things that we've discussed before previously,
Facts.
you know, and be honest. don't think the fucking funk. I hate that shit. Like, don't come at me with your, I got 20K, 30K, blue check mark. You come to the event, you barely got two people to buy tickets. Like, don't do that. You know, be organic and be yourself.
Be
Cause
authentic for
yeah,
sure.
cause guess what? When you're authentic, people like myself and Mike, when you hit us up out the random and we don't know who you are, we just look at your message and we could tell that you're authentic and you're real. You might get a response. But if you come off like, hey, yo, I got this, I'm from here, I just opened up for, I don't care about that. What are you doing?
I,
It's not what you did, what you're doing now.
I'll add another thing too. It's not just come authentic because I think a lot of people, they show up in an authentic way, and then,
Hmm.
we talk about Rizzy, how time has kind of changed, what he's into and what he's interested in, and he's went with that. I think a lot of times people don't realize that you could come in authentic, and as the game changes, you're gonna be challenged to change with it. It's
Yes.
really important to stay true to yourself. That's
Oh,
how you
man.
really let the swag blossom for real because
Yeah.
I've seen people
Yeah.
that destroy their legacies chasing waves, and not
Hmm.
staying true to the things that really are, true to their heart and that they're passionate
Waves
about.
that aren't even in the same water anymore.
You
Like,
know what I mean?
yeah, no,
So I,
yeah.
I think that's great advice, bro. And I appreciate everything that you do, that you've done for me. I feel like watching the Lab Rats kind of go from where they started, a cannabis culture brand to like,
Yeah.
an award show, a clothing label, like movies, you name it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an amazing thing, and it's truly inspired me to, not be scared to make the jump from music into real estate, into insurance, into
Yeah.
golf, into doing all the things that, I'm finding bring me joy.
Yeah.
So I definitely I want to say thank you,
I thank you, bro.
for people who want to get involved with the Lab Rats, for people who want to keep up with you, with the content, with all the artists. How do they do that?
Tap in, really. Like when I put up a post, come into the channel. If you're serious, you want to work, send me an email. We have real people behind the scenes that actually listen and do things. It's not just we're gonna leave you on scene because I know how that felt by many people that left me on scene.
Facts.
And then I still remember those same people that hit me up now that left me on scene, right? Like an elephant, never forget. But we're moving in a fast-paced direction now. It's not just the hip hop thing. We've been dabbling within the reggae community, the rock and roll from the last award show, as you've seen.
That was fire, by the way.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
even realize you had that girl up there singing. She did a whole
yeah, yeah,
EDM. That was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And one of those
That
rock,
was gas.
yeah, one of those rock bands too. Nine Lives actually is in the second movie for the soundtrack for the House of Dolls as
Oh,
well.
fire.
So she got a sync placement into that movie as well. So
Sick.
it's crazy. Like, and I never met them from a hole in a wall. It's just like a year's worth of relationship, and boom, she's in.
Clicked.
You know, I mean, obviously she won the showcase. Compared to everybody else's music, but hey, shit, she sounds like Evanescence.
She definitely does.
You know?
Nah, she put on a great show
Yeah.
too.
So, besides that, with the reggae community now, be on the lookout.
Chris, I appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate your time,
Thank you for
Mike.
having. I always enjoy talking to you, man.
You already, my G.
Make sure y'all keep up with the Lab Rats. I'm Hip Hop Mike. This is my brother Chris. Until next time.